Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in, appreciate it. I am going to give you a little glimpse on my personal story. I am a 26-year-old entrepreneur. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brian, and I have a paint contracting business that's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That is called Bella's Army Painting. So this actually started a while ago. So all the way back to the high school days, I think it's important to give you a bit of a feedback loop, kind of like on what we were doing back then that kind of like sourced and fostered this entrepreneurial spirit. So all the way back in high school, I used to play baseball growing up. Actually, my entire life I played baseball, and usually, that was the go-to plan. Like, I wanted to crush it, I wanted to go pro, and that was it. So it was just baseball 24/7. And basically, it got to the point where I got injured / hurt because I was a pitcher. So growing up at a younger age, my mechanics, my fundamentals, they weren't strong. So of course, I got elbow pain, and eventually pitching became really tough on the body. So that is where there was a small shift, because I'm like, okay, maybe I don't want to play baseball anymore. And into the later high school years, it got to the point where I realized that's not what I love to do. So I was also on a physical fitness team simultaneously. So like, I kind of gravitated more towards doing that. I was working out more, and inevitably, I dove into business. So there was one business class that I went to in high school, and it was my first one ever. And he was telling us the story about the kid that he basically was like a candy man. Like, he would like it's almost like, I don't know for everybody here watching, if you watched Recess at all, but the cartoon Recess, there was a kid who had this big, peacoat jacket on. He would open it up and he'd have candy bars he'd sell all the time. So he basically said that there was a kid in school who did the same thing. He would bring stuff in, he would say, hey, I got this, got that, open up his jacket. He just sold candy, and he's like, this guy made a killing. So after hearing that story, I got really excited. I'm like, okay, maybe that's not a tough thing to do. Let's try it. So from playing baseball all my years, there was usually fundraisers. So we sold Sarah's candy, and from doing that over the years, the Sarah's candy came in like this little cardboard box with this handle. You carry it. It said Sarah's on the side of the box. So you couldn't, like the high school I went to, there was metal detectors. There was a lot of people in the school, like over 1,000 people, and you couldn't just bring candy in because it wasn't allowed to sell candy in school unless it was funded by a fundraiser. So what I did to combat that, I went to Sam's Club and ended up buying the little assortment packs of 30 candy bars for $30, and it was 30 candy bars for $15. And I decided to put them inside the Sarah's box and then bring it to school. So that was my way to get it in school. But since we had metal detectors, we basically couldn't get it in because everything was being checked. So knowing that I played baseball, I went through the baseball coach's line. They saw it, they were bought into what we were doing. He just said, come on through. So we were smuggling candy into high school, and we were selling it. So eventually we sold out so many times that we started accumulating cash. And I eventually got more and more candy, so it kept piling up. Instead of one box, it was 2, it was 4, it was 10 boxes at once. It got to the point where I think we were buying $500 in candy a week. It was crazy. And it got to the point where I actually had my brother and 2 buddies selling it for me. So we would stock up all of these Sarah's candy boxes, we put them in our backpacks, we would get through the lines. There would be 3 of us smuggling stuff in through that line. So we had at least 100 to 200 candy bars a day in there. So we just sold them, whatever they sold, I got 25 cents, and they kept 25 cents. And then whatever I sold, I got 50 cents. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but that was the first entrepreneurial concept. I loved it. I made good money. I believe I paid for prom that year completely by that. There was other stuff I paid for, of course, but I did that, and then there was another way I made money in high school. And I don't know anybody watching this knows, but there was something called Pangeas. And what a Pangea is, if a student was not doing good at math or reading, there'd be this pretty long online course that they would have to take. And in order to pass high school and pass the grade, they had to finish the Pangea. And it took forever to do it. Like, it was a lot of work. So out of nowhere, somebody offered me money to do one. It was the math one, because I was pretty good at math. And I said yes to it. So long story short, that wasn't the first one. I think I did like up to like 10 to 15 Pangeas, because it got to the point that like I'd memorized every answer, every question, and I realized it was the same exact answers on everything. And basically just rolled that in. That was another source of income. So I had 2 income streams plus the part-time job that I was working in high school. So that's how we kind of like started and cultivated the entrepreneurial mindset. I knew from that point on I want to do something in business, not in baseball. Then I got to college. So college was different because typically there's really no baseball, there's no sports that I could have done. I didn't do any of the business stuff in college that much, but it got to the point that I came across an internship. So this internship was College Works Painting. So this is a national painting franchise that typically gets college students to paint houses, and that's their internship. And it's a very interesting model. It teaches sales, management experience, hiring, working with tons of people. It was a lot of work. And that was my integration into the painting industry, because I never thought that I would be doing painting at all. And I worked with that company for 2 years. I did sales. I was a branch manager. I just managed a branch from scratch that year in my college town. And I did pretty good at that. So the following year, I worked with them again. I did sales work. I did EPA and OSHA regulation stuff. So I did 2 full-time roles that second year. And the third year, I chose not to go with them anymore because I was going into my last year of college. And instead of carrying on with that company, I decided to start something on my own. Didn't know what it was going to be at the time, but I ended up going with my girlfriend's parents up to her cottage up north, and they wanted us to paint the cottage. So since I owned some equipment from the first year with that company and the internship, I said, yeah, why not? I'll make some extra cash. And we did it, and whenever we were done, they took a step back and looked at it, and they're like, this is unbelievable. Oh my God, like this looks so good. Why don't you run a painting business? Like you guys are good at this. So like at first I was like, there's no way, like I don't want to paint. You couldn't convince me to do it because I didn't enjoy it that much whenever I was doing it before. But long story short, they convinced us to do it. It was a right financial decision. And last year of college, we started it. So it was me, my girlfriend, her mom, and her dad that started the company. So that was back in 2017. So December 2017, we started Bella's Army Painting. And fast forward, like the first year we did, I think it was like $150,000 in revenue. It was very small. And the second year we did $250,000 in revenue. The third year, that was the year that we made the jump, we did $818,000 in revenue. And then we're currently in year 4. So again, I'm 26 years old right now. I started this whenever I was 22, turning 23. And this year we're projected to do 1.2 to 1.4 million in revenue. So quite a bit, of a jump. And that all started, from my high school days, selling candy, doing Pangeas, kind of fostering the entrepreneurial spirit. And it's kind of interesting how life works, because like you really don't know what life's going to toss at you. Oh shit. You don't know what life's going to toss at you, and sometimes you just gotta hold on to it, run with it, and see what you can do with it. So this is the year as well that year number 4 that we started Painting System Blueprint. So that's the second company. We got pretty successful at structuring our company and systemizing it enough to where it can finally grow and scale. And that's whenever we jump from 250 to 818, and then 818 to 1.2, like the 250 to 818, that was a systemization focus. 818 to 1.2 to 1.4, that was a money focus. So like now we're at the point where like we're making really good money, it's efficient and it's systemized well. It's where like we can teach that to other people, which that's the whole point of Painting System Blueprint. So that's the hat that I have on here. That's the whole YouTube channel, and that's kind of like our story. So overall, I'm just a kid who's having fun, who's doing his thing, definitely following my own beat to the drum. And yeah, that's everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed my story. If you have any questions or if you're on a similar path or journey, toss them in the comment section. I read these a lot, and I would love to hear everybody else's journey, what they're going through, or kind of like different ambitions you might have. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it so much. Again, if you wanted to have a quick strategy call, hop on a call with me. There's a link in the bio that you can kind of like click on to do that. So thanks again, appreciate it. I will catch you in the next video.